So we are going to organize this from the easiest to most difficult to acquire. Coming in at level 1, we have the content creation crustacean. And you know, if you ever tried it, you might be typing up a storm right now saying how it's not easy. Well, you're right, but nothing worth getting is easy. You know, if you were to treat it as your job or education where you give it full-time interest, you'll really honestly probably make it to full-time in 1 to 2 years. But you really do have to have a mindset of innovation. So, Dorbol, are you going to college or the workforce? Well, neither. I'm paving my own path. You guys are tripping. Trust me on this, I got it. As a full-time content creator myself, I think the real hardest part of all this was ignoring the people around you, and possibly even yourself, since with a journey like this, everything tries to tear you down, and you're truly the only one to have fulfill your dreams. And at the beginning of this, it wasn't hopeful for me either. It went a little bit like this. And this is why you cannot stay motivated. Hey, alright Joe, you can turn off the sound effect now. It was good to dream for a second. But what really inspired me was seeing some of these people who just talk at a camera getting millions of views. I knew if someone as plain as that got views, then if you made something a bit more edited, you could easily reach those levels as well. And this is by no means an insult towards those creators. I'm honestly quite jealous of them.
You wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips.
What you have there is not clips. These are mags.
And well, oftentimes you have to teach yourself everything. The internet is an endless resource, and nowadays you can do everything for mostly free. Believe it or not, it cost me $0 to make my videos, other than the mic and computer, of course, which is $3,250.
Bruh.
But hey, that number is attainable for everyone if you live like this. Alright, sir, are you ready to order? Yeah, what are the specials though?
Well, we have the peanut butter sandwich on store brand, or the ramen noodles cooked in our sizzling tap water.
Oh, okay. Oh, looks like I'm going with the peanut butter.
20 minutes later.
Let's get peanut. And of course, the joy that is creative burnout or writer's block, which is something I personally struggle with all the time. But I stare at a blank canvas or paper till it comes to me. And it always shows up, you just gotta start. I mean, let's see how creative I can get with this one. And so that's when I realized that I didn't need motivation to work, but instead the inverse. I needed to work to get motivated.
Hey sir, the ship has been breached in the control center. I don't think we're alone.
Wait, what? Oh, get it off me, get it off me, get it off me right now, please. And here we are with level 2. We have the stupendous sales. And oh, if you ever thought people were mean, it gets way worse once you do sales. I mean, you will get death threats. I used to do cold calls as a realtor, and the company I worked for put me on one of their lists after I was done there. And they started spam calling me, even years later. And eventually I started messing with them like this. Oh great, it's these guys again. Hey, this is Dorbol.
Great. This is Jimmy with Dorb's Realty, and I was just curious if you'd like to sell your house.
Oh yeah, definitely. But first of all, you are in the building on Dorbin Street, right with Pablo sitting next to you, right?
Wait a minute. Yeah, how did you know that?
Well, I'll tell you in person if you don't throw me on the do not call list.
Oh, okay, I will.
And just to let you know, it's illegal to not put someone on the do not call list. If you ask them to do it and they don't, they're technically in violation, and they can receive a serious fine. And to those people who give death threats over the phone, they're often the same people you meet when you go door to door doing sales. I mean, it honestly has a major potential to go a little bit like this. Yo, this house is sketch. Whoa! You got me. But honestly, those threats are sometimes valid, since doing sales can be morally questionable. It's a lot about manipulation. For example, phrasing things to have the default answer of yes instead of no. So you could ask someone, are you open-minded to this? And of course they're not gonna say no, because if they're just saying no, they're just admitting that they're closed-minded. And no one wants to be closed-minded, so you're pretty much manipulating them into saying yes. Alright homie, wear this and I'll tell you what to say. Alright.
1 hour later.
Alright, his dog died recently. Make up a story about how your dog died as well.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Say what? Hey, what are you talking about?
You look like your dog died. How dare you? And another trick of manipulation is when they ask you to sign a contract. They will not say another word, so it enforces that the only way to break that uncomfortable silence is by signing the dotted line. Yeah, alright, just go ahead and sign right there.
But... Okay.
And oh, if you're an introvert, this job is doable, but it will take its toll on you. It can be quite compounding since there are often two types of salespeople. The one who make a lot of money, and the ones who make virtually none. And honestly, if you find talking to people to be draining, you will end up on the lower end of that spectrum most likely. Hey, how's it going, Sriracha?
It's pronounced Sasha.
Like the salsa, right?
Okay, leave.
And I have a story of when I was a complete jerk and proved my point in a very rude way. That call went a little bit like this. Hey, quit calling me. You called me yesterday. Well, I can tell you right now, I didn't call you yesterday. Yes, you did. Oh yeah? Well then, what did you have for dinner last night? Why you? That's my point. You don't even know what you had for dinner, you fool. And now, out of curiosity, do you guys know what you had for dinner last night? And now for the digital era. That is level 3. We have the tectonic tech people. And you know, this is lower on the list since you don't need traditional education to do this. And that's the main reason I see this down here, but by no means are these people stupid. I know a few people who do this kind of stuff, and I'm usually able to follow most conversations, but when two tech people talk, I'm completely lost. Their conversations sound a little bit like this. Oh well, yeah, my Python code failed because the wave index was incorrect.
You're so stupid. You weren't even staking right. You had the slippage a bit too much, and that's why you got in wrong.
Lo siento, no habla español, inglés, no? But it does kind of make sense, since code is a language, just not a normal way. So it does add up, but honestly the hardest part of all this has to be typing out a whole bunch of codes just for it to spit back at you saying error. I'm finally done, let's give it a go. Oh my goodness. And this doesn't just have to be coders. There's a lot of tech jobs such as game development, web design, hardware development, and I gotta say the amount of intelligence you need to take nature and conduct it into a machine is quite fascinating. I mean, some tech people have made it so I can bring these videos to all of you. Unga boonga, hello, Dorbol here coming in from the rock. I mean, really, have you guys ever just looked around and realized almost everything around you has started out as an idea and then was taken action on to create something for the world? And then on top of that, the distance everything has traveled to end up in your hands is even wilder. Most things you own have traveled more than you probably have in your life. Oh, I'm definitely gonna order this. This is gonna look so cute on my dog. Hey, that was quick. And here we are at level 4. And here we have the financial facade. And honestly, the churning of numbers all day has got to end up burning into your mind. I can only imagine the strain of doing this. I mean, it probably even affects your vision. This is probably what it looks like when you walk back in the door from work. Whew, finally home. I think I'm losing my mind. But this can include more than just accounting. I mean, I know some people in the crypto sphere who live off of creating crypto projects, and honestly, they can do very well doing it. So even in the financial sphere, there's still plenty of room for non-college routes. Or you know, you could also just be pure evil and do this. Alright, let's launch this crypto coin. And as soon as everyone buys in, we'll sell all of ours. This will be an easy rug pull, and we'll make an insane amount of money.
Sir, but what about all the people who will lose their money?
Then we got the financial gamblers who do day trading and swing trading, and I myself did this for a while, and I did very well until I took a big L. And that was the point where I stopped doing it. And it just takes one big mistake to destroy any profit you get. But hey, if you can get a grasp on how to do it, there is big money in it. And I'm not gonna sell yet.
Hey honey, can you take out the trash?
Yeah, I got it.
Dump it.
And you know, let's not forget that the tax system is so confusing that there's actually a job specifically around it. This is where the CPAs come in, aka the tax guys. And I gotta be glad they are around since taxes only get more confusing the more you get going on. Alright, so I know the rules to the game, so I gotcha.
So what does that actually mean?
Well, it's pretty simple. Uncle Sam owes you money. And we can't forget about the magnum opus of all financial jobs, hedge fund managers. And these are the lads who make crazy amounts of money. And it makes sense when you look at all it takes to get yourself into that position. Alright, so over there are an accountants. Oh well, what's behind the door?
We don't talk about them.
And now on to level 5. We have the sociopathic scientists. There's a lot of variety in this field, but the one consistent factor is a heavy amount of education and debt to even get to a position in this. I mean, for example, in order to be a chemist, it can take 10 years. If you were to go for this, I'd imagine it would be like this by the time you were done with your studies. College.
10 years later.
So you want this job, but there's one issue. We don't need scientists anymore. We need people to maintain the AI robots that research them 24/7.
Well, looks like I'm just done.
But on the real, science is really cool. I mean, all the way from finding the building blocks of reality to the rotation of the planets, or even deflecting meteorites. Or, I mean, you could also get stuck checking the migration patterns of dolphins or something along those lines. Oi, look at those dolphins! Alright, that one's down. Time to map this data for the rest of the day. But I'm personally more interested in these odd types of studies, such as the mapping of the DMT realm, and studies on how the mind works, since I feel like consciousness is something we barely understand, or even study. I mean, for example, anyone who has tried to completely control themselves, and I mean control of your body and your thoughts, will understand how difficult that truly is. I mean, there are even people who get to the point of being able to change the temperature of their hands. I mean, who knows, maybe it would be part of our next evolution. Alright, so we're gonna load you up with this extremely powerful drug, and you gotta map it out for us. Best of luck. Alright, so what information did you get from this experience? Oonga boonga, return the monkey. And here we are with level 6. We have the lucrative law. Y'all ever heard of fire bar before? Well, for law practicing people, that's an anxiety-inducing term, since they gotta pass the bar test. And as someone who has gotten through testing to get a real estate license, which is supposedly very difficult, but I'm pretty confident the bar test would beat that real estate exam in a fight without breaking a sweat. So what is an eminent domain? You know, I'll teach you that one in court. I mean, in fact, it takes about 7 years to become a lawyer. And I don't know about you guys, but this is quite an investment. And let's be honest, over those 7 years, you probably change as a person. So who knows if you will ever be interested in it after all of that. Alright, court's in session. Yeah, this is so lame. Yeah, actually, I'm out.
Yo, bro, get back here, you're my lawyer.
And just like sales, this is a morally questionable position, since, you know, the person you could be representing really could be a monster. Or on the flip side, you might accidentally send an innocent person to jail. And something tells me that's a hard thing to undo, or even live with. Alright, so yeah, all the pickles from that sub shop, I did steal them. But what about it? Oh my god, do not tell me this. Do not tell me any of this. It should also be mentioned that a big part of being a lawyer is being able to convince a jury, and I gotta say, the scariest part of all this is it involves manipulation and bending the truth. And some tells me there's probably some discrimination depending on people's biases, because, you know, people often do judge off of, like, first looks, and that can lead to a swaying decision on a very unimportant part of it. Alright, so we have David, who was walking his dog nearby. And over here, we have the dude we found hiding in the cupboards. Which one is the killer? We have this guy. And then there's this man. Which one was the threat? And here we are with level 7. We have the medical maniacs. I know quite a few people in this field, and the absolute horrors they have to see are something beyond what you could imagine. In fact, I had a friend the other day tell me about how they had a guy come in to the emergency room with 2 hammers stuck somewhere, and I'm not going to say where since I think you can use your imagination. So, how exactly did you get your head stuck in the toilet? And when you think long hour days, you think around 12 hours, right? Well, I'm talking with this guy at the gym who was a nurse, and he said his longest shift was 36 hours. I can only imagine the effects that have, since not sleeping makes your brain swell, and you start to hallucinate. So you can only imagine what they're seeing after all that time without sleep. Yo, what is that rabbit doing in here? Bro, it's time to sleep. Also, you didn't see me. And you know, if you were to have a patient die, I can only imagine the burden you'd hold. You'd probably think, I could have done more. Oh no, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Bro, wake up, come on, get up. Bro, I'm just trying to sleep. Go away. You know, I couldn't imagine doing something like surgery. I have very shaky hands, so if I ended up in the medical field as a surgeon, I would definitely be concerned for all of you, but it'd probably go like this. Alright, so we'll make an incision right here. Oh no, what's going on? This wasn't in the textbooks. And you know, we can't forget about the length of education these people must go through. It takes on average 10 to 14 years to become a doctor. Like, I could only imagine. Like, that's a new level of time and dedication.
Hey, I'm gonna be a doctor when I grow up.
A quarter century later.
By golly, I've done it. And a lot of you probably have no clue about this one, but nurses will get it. So there's 2 types of nurses. There's regular ones and there's the traveling nurses. And the traveling nurses make a ridiculously higher amount of money than the regular nurses. And go ahead and comment what white collar jobs I missed, and feel free to watch this video right here.